Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about crafting the right message for the right prospect. I'm Brandon Stiles. I do internet marketing for small companies and try and create effective ad campaigns and sales funnels to get you more customers and more business, more revenue, and then help more people in the process. Today I wanted to talk about what I call the 5 levels of awareness that any product, service, business, company has. And it's based off of Mr. Eugene Schwartz's book, Breakthrough Advertising, which is one of the holy grails of advertising, written back in the 40s, 50s, something like that, maybe 60s. Anyways, every business has 5 different levels of awareness in a customer's mind. And to get them to buy from you or to purchase from you, you have to bring them from stage 5 or 4, wherever they are, to stage 1, which is where they say, you're the business for me, take my money. So we're going to go over that today, how to craft the right message for the right prospect to bring them closer to buyerhood. So even for the most experienced small businesses, crafting effective ads can be a struggle. I see it all the time. People will put together these Google AdWords campaigns or Facebook ads or just even a magazine or billboard ad, and they're like, well, crap, no one bought my stuff. No one purchased from me. I just kind of wasted that money, and they don't really know what went wrong. And we all know paid advertising can get eyes on your business and traffic to your website. However, getting those eyes and getting that traffic to actually care about your product or service is a little bit of a different story. Most businesses' ads look a little something like what I'm about to show you. There we go. So what do we see here? Well, you get the obligatory discount, so everyone else does it, so why not? You should put a discount, right? And then there's an unbelievable discount. So when I see it drop over 50%, automatically as a customer, I'm saying, that's probably not true. It's probably $8.95 to begin with, and they just jacked it up to $2,200. So you lose credibility when you discount that much. I'm going to move myself up here real quick. Next, you have unmeasurable points of contact. So this place put an email, put a website, and they put a phone number, but there's no way for them to see how effective this ad is because this is just a blanket website address, a general homepage. So if people go to it, then on their back end, it's just going to look like regular traffic, and they're not going to know if this ad was successful or not. Finally, there is no call to action on this at all. I'm going to take this off. There's nothing that says, buy here, whatever. It's just a sale, a huge discount that no one believes, and it's just bad. And you know the worst part about this ad is that it applies to everyone. And if an ad tries to apply to everyone, it really applies to no one. Because if it's not directed at one person, the person's going to pass over it and be like, well, that's probably for someone else. So I'm going to move myself back down here. We can do unbelievably better than that. You see that guy crying right there? He came up with a bad ad. We're going to come up with a better one, all right? So let's talk about the real purpose of advertising. When you create an ad, the only people you should care about reaching are the right people for your product or service. So the people that have no interest in your business, you don't want to convince them that they need your product because you're not going to convince anybody. You can't change a mind from just reading an ad. So the only people we want to advertise to are the right people that actually might want or be interested in your product or service. So who are those right people? Well, the right people are those that share a defined desire or need for your product with hundreds, thousands, even millions of other people. So you've got the right people, and great ads only cater to those specific people and don't concern themselves with anyone else. And that's kind of a relief if you think about it, because it's like, well, shoot, I don't have to convince people to buy. I only want to bring people that are already interested in my product or service a little bit closer to what I call buyerhood. So have the hard work's already kind of done with most businesses. So now that we know the purpose of advertising is to only advertise to people with a desire for your product, we can narrow down and ask a more effective question when we're creating ads now. That is, how aware is the person you're trying to advertise to? So that's really cool, because all of a sudden it's become not do they want it or do they not. We've taken out this second group of people. Sorry, it's a mirror image. This second group of people, and we're just focusing on this one. So now all we have to ask is, how aware are these people that want our product or service? Those are them right there, these 5 people. So now this is a much more helpful question to ask, because it removes the need to convince someone they should want something and brings people who already have that desire closer to buyerhood. So what does that look like in a real world example? Well, it's kind of like the difference between trying to convince someone who hates fast food to start liking it versus trying to get someone who loves fast food, just like me and you, to go to Chick-fil-A with you instead of Wendy's. One is a much more easier argument than the other. One, you're just asking someone to change their momentary preference, versus one, you're asking for a full kind of mental shift in their thinking. Boo Wendy's, yay Chick-fil-A right there. So let's get into the good stuff right now. You can create super effective ads and super effective messages for your ideal prospects by crafting ads that align with your market's 5 levels of awareness. So you can count those circles, there's 5. Let's get into how to do that right now. So without further ado, here are the 5 levels of prospect awareness. Number 1 is Omni-Awareness. I'm going to get into these in a second. Number 2 is aware but not convinced. Number 3 is aware of the solution. Number 4 is aware of the problem. And then number 5 is zero awareness. So they're like, shoot, I didn't even know that was a problem. Learn something new every day. All right. And as you can see from this little scale, the first level is really easy to advertise to. And then that zero awareness at stage 5 is really difficult to advertise to, because you're starting from square zero, not even square one, square zero. And it's always tough to just bring someone through that full stage of education. So let's get into how we can start bringing those zero aware people to people just aware of the problem and on a solution, how we can all take them to stage 1, which is where they're like, boom, sign me up. To do that, we're going to start with the hardest one first. All right, let's get that out of the way. Stage 5, which is total unawareness. You show your product to someone and they're like, oh wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was even a problem. I didn't even know I had that problem. Now stage 5 takes the hardest work and is the most difficult to advertise to. The prospect doesn't know he has a need or a desire for your product, or maybe they don't want to admit that they do. Or the need is so general that it's tough to sum up in one clean sentence. So for example, someone says, I want to feel better. Well, that could be any product. That could be weight loss. That could be a sleep product. That could just be a general happiness awareness product. That's a stage 5 total unaware person. Most products and services are created for stage 3 and 4 prospects, so they don't have to deal with the stage 5 folks. Okay, because it's really tough. Another bad thing about stage 5 is that price means nothing to the prospect because they have no concept of what it could cost. All right, if I showed you a time machine and I was like, buy this, you'd like, shoot, I mean, it's probably expensive, but I would have literally no basis of which to start my pricing. So stage 5 is not the best place to start from if you're introducing a product or service. Sorry, I had to jump up here really quick to save some space. Next, your brand name or your company name or even your product name means nothing. So if you've got a person in stage 5 and you say, hey, come on, we're Brand Inc., people are going to be like, that means literally nothing to me. So you can't just throw out like Clorox or Coca-Cola and have people be like, very cool. Name recognition is a non-factor here. Finally, your competition isn't who's the best, so people aren't picking between A, B, and C. They're actually saying, who cares? Why should I even care about this? I haven't been missing this in my life up till now, so why should I care now? So stage 5, not the easiest one, but it's possible to move people up the ladder. I'm going to show you how to in just a second. So how do you take people from this stage 5 of total unawareness of a product or service and move them a little bit closer to stage 1? Well, you actually have to speak to your market. So you can't speak about your product, you can't say your company name, because remember, no one cares. You have to call out and identify to your people, as it were. And a lot of advertisers use fear-based headlines to get the click for this. Now, what would qualify as a stage 5 product or service? Well, we could look at the ever-popular and subtle Algaculture feeding helmet, which is this guy right there. What in God's name is that? So people who buy the Algaculture, maybe it's Algaculture feeding helmet, are totally unaware. I've never seen that before in my life. I don't know what it does. It looks a little bit painful, maybe like something that Mr. Freeze was hooked up to before he made the transformation to Mr. Freeze. It turned him into Mr. Freeze. I don't know. The Algaculture feeding helmet would be stage 5, because someone would look at that and say, I didn't know getting fed algae to feel full was the thing. Apparently that's what this does. It makes you feel full by feeding you algae or something like that. I looked through this product and still don't think I have a need for it, but neither here nor there. Now that we've got an example of a stage 5 product, let's go over the perfect ad for stage 5 prospects. So how to take them from 5 and move them closer to 4, 3, 2, 1. Looks like this. Number 1, the headline in the ad doesn't mention price, doesn't mention product, doesn't mention functionality, need, or desire at all. Well, then you're like, well, crap, what is there? Well, your headline in this stage is going to focus totally on the mind of your market by crafting an identification headline. So this is who you are, and it's going to echo an emotion. Again, we're calling out to our market here. The stage 5 headline is going to sell nothing, it's going to promise nothing, it's going to fulfill nothing. Now, this sounds a little bit tough, but you probably see an example of this every day. Check this out. Plastic surgeons hate this little known company from Seattle. How often do you see that? Like, realtors hate this guy. That's a stage 5 headline. It's not promising anything, not mentioning a price, a product. It's just making a statement. And it invokes curiosity and it intrigues. Plastic surgeons hate this little known company from Seattle. If I read that, I'm like, well, what's the company? Why do surgeons hate them? Does Seattle have anything to do with it? And then I click on the ad because I want to know more. So that's your stage 5 ideal headline. No price, no product, no functionality, sells nothing, promises nothing. It just focuses on the mind of your market by crafting an identification headline. So there's stage 5. Not the ideal place to be, but not impossible either. So let's go closer towards buyerhood with stage 4. Now, stage 4 prospect is aware of the problem. So I hate XYZ. This is a huge problem. I hate being overweight. I hate that I can't get to sleep. I hate sitting in traffic. It's a huge problem. So at this stage, your prospect recognizes he has a need, but doesn't know there's a solution out there. Or they don't even have a desire for the solution yet. They just know they don't like this problem. Lots of new products fall into this category right here, stage 4. Now, the key to advertising to this stage is to show empathy. So we know this sucks. We feel your pain. Yes, this is a problem, etc. This is really where a lot of creativity comes in, because a stage 4 ad is really a problem-solving ad. So when you're thinking about a stage 4 problem, think of the smart thermostat. Just a few years ago, people probably weren't like, man, it really sucks that I have to get up, walk over to my freaking thermostat, and change it. I wish there was an easier way to do that. I wish there was an easier way to make it programmable and all this kind of stuff. Think the smart thermostat. Ecobee right there. I've got one in my house. You might can see it right over there. People who buy smart thermostats are, 1, aware. So they've broken stage 5. They say, thermostats and energy usage exist. I can control temperature in my house. And they're aware of the problem, which is, I wish I had more control over my home energy usage, and even though we have programmable thermostats, I still wish I could do a little bit more, and that it was easier to manage. But a few years ago, it stopped there because there was no solution to it yet. So the perfect ad for a stage 4 prospect. So if you're marketing to someone that is aware of the industry and is aware of the problem, this is how you can craft your ad. Number 1, a headline for a stage 4 ad names the need and the solution, but not the desire. So it gives prospect a whoa, I need this moment by vividly dramatizing how much the prospect needs the solution. Third, it presents your business as that solution that they've been looking for. So control your thermostat from anywhere in the world. People read that and it gives them a sense of power. They're like, wow, I can control my thermostat in my home from anywhere. That's like a lot of power. It names the need. So the need to have more control over your house. This is a stage 4 ad headline right there. There's really subtle differences in all these you'll see, but it involves a little creative thinking and you can take it a long way. There's a little bit of subtle differences in all these, but spending some time with this and seeing these intricacies will really pay off. Now, let's move to stage 3. Stage 5, which is aware. 4 is aware of the problem. 3 is a prospect that's aware of the solution. I know there's something out there that'll solve this, but what? So with the stage 3 prospect, the prospect knows he wants the solution to his problem and that it's probably out there somewhere, like we just said, but he doesn't know what those solutions are yet. And this stage must be addressed in 2 parts. It's a little bit finicky. So part 1 is you have to nail down the currently semi-vague desire that this prospect has. And 2, you have to make the solution very crisp and clear to them so that they'll recognize that solution immediately. When you're thinking of a stage 3 prospect, think someone who might be looking at a weight loss product like P90X. Look at Tony right there. He's ripped, he's feeling good. So people who want to lose weight are past stage 5 of awareness. They say low body fat is good. That's a pretty common health claim. They're also past stage 4, so they're aware of the problem, which is I'm overweight and need to lose that weight to be healthy. So that brings them to stage 3, which is aware of a solution. So solutions exist to lose weight. I know there are pills and products and exercise routines out there that will help me. So they got an abundance of these products. So what does an ad for a stage 3 prospect look like? Looks like this. Number 1, the headline of a stage 3 ad will name the desire and the solution. It will promise the prospect that the problem can be solved, and it will show them what your company does to accomplish that promise. So there's a very subtle difference between stage 3 and stage 4. So a good ad would be, want to get that 6-pack back? 1 minute abs is proven to reduce belly fat in 60 seconds. So it's naming the desire. Do you want the 6-pack? Names the solution, 1 minute abs. Promises the prospect, which is proven to reduce belly fat, and it shows them what it does to accomplish that promise, which is an exercise routine. So that's how you can craft the stage 3 ad. Now, let's move into stage 2. In stage 2, your prospect might be aware of your company, but is not sold on it. So they're like, okay, we know who you are, but we're not sure you're the best for us. So this seems like a good choice, but is it the best for me? So they're not convinced yet of your value. In stage 2, your prospect knows your name, they know what you do, but they're not totally convinced that you give the best value. And that's not necessarily even price-wise either. That could be a number of offerings or differentiators in your particular business. Most businesses have prospects in this stage of awareness where people know who you are, but they're like, I don't know, I'm just not there yet. I don't know if they're the best. I want to shop around some more. Your prospect also might not know everything about your business's solution to their problem. If you haven't been able to sit with them and kind of go into details about how you stand out and how you can actually help them, they're not going to be at that stage 1 yet. So they'll be asking, how are you different? Or how well does your product or service work? Or why should I choose you over XYZ? And a lot of people get stuck here because it's intimidating, because a lot of people don't have great differentiators. They're like, oh, well, we do this. And it's not really that big of a differentiator. So when you're thinking of a stage 2 prospect, think running shoes. Like that Nike shoe right there, which I probably wouldn't run in. It looks a little bit heavy, but that's the only one I could find. So people in the market for running shoes are customers who are, one, aware. So they're saying, I want to run. They're also aware of the problem, which is stage 4. So I need a good pair of running shoes to run better, run more efficiently. They know there's a solution, so they're past stage 3. So I know companies exist that make good running shoes. That brings us to stage 2. There's Nike, there's Adidas, there's Reebok, there's New Balance. Which of these companies are the best for me? So they know the company names, but they don't know who's the best. They're not sold yet. So how do you get past that? Well, the perfect ad for stage 2 customers restates the prospect's desire for the product. So restates the prospect's desire to run more efficiently and improve their running. It demonstrates new proof, details, mechanisms, and so on to show how their desires are met through your product or service. It also demonstrates your differentiator. And finally, it sharpens your prospect's image of how your product satisfies their desire. Again, it's all about the customer. They want to get their need fulfilled, and they just want to know that your product's going to do that. So a good ad would be Nike's Running Man 2. Run like the wind. So people want to run better. They want to run like the wind. It demonstrates new proof, details. So Running Man 2, it's a sequel to that first shoe. So it's an improved upon process for that first shoe. That's the differentiator as well. So your ad can go into how this shoe is a little bit better than its predecessors and maybe its competitors. And then it sharpens that image. Run like the wind. People read that and they're picturing themselves just going fast, and that's what they want. So that is a stage 2 customer. Now, let's go into the easiest one to advertise to, which is stage 1, Omni-Aware. We're right at the end here. We're looking good. So in stage 1, the prospect says, you win and you rule. What's your best price? This is the easiest ad to create. Why? Well, because your stage 1 customer knows they have a problem or knows they have a desire or a need. They know a solution exists. They know your business provides that solution, and they believe that your business is their best choice to get that solution. So they're saying, you guys are the ultimate. So the only information really they need from you is a price. So they're already sold that you're their solution. They just want to know how much. What's your best offer? What's the best deal you can get me? Ads for the stage 1 prospect build off of and really take advantage of all the advertising for the product that the customer has previously seen. A lot of retargeting ads kind of fall into this because people have already, your former ads have done the hard work of bringing someone closer to buyerhood, and this one kind of just tips them over the edge. Think Apple when you think of this. There's the MacBook Pro. So Apple customers are aware, so computers are good. They're aware of the problem, which is I need a portable computer to kind of function in life. They're aware of the solution, which is companies exist that make these portable computers. They go through the process of being aware but not sold. So they're like, well, Apple makes laptops, but there's Dell and HP and all these other people. Are they the best value? They do their research, and then all of a sudden they get to that first stage. They're Omni-Aware. I need a laptop. Apple makes them, and they're awesome. I'm going with Apple. What's the best price? They start looking for discounts, sales, or just your best offer. The perfect ad for a stage 1 customer. This is pretty easy. It states the name of your product, states the deal you're running, and then price is going to be the MVP here. So for a stage 1 ad, takes almost no creativity at all. You would just say, MacBook Pro, $300 off, starting at $999, 1 terabyte hard drive, free Apple Care. So you don't need to state the benefits because people already know the benefits. They already know that you're going to solve their problem. Just give them the best price that you can do on this. So those are the 5 stages of awareness that a prospect can have. Let's kind of recap those. Move myself over right here. So knowing what stage of awareness your market has is critical for crafting your ads. Remember, stage 1, which is Omni-Aware, super easy to advertise to. Stage 5, which is when people are like, wow, I didn't even know I had that problem. You can see where that's a little bit more difficult to bring people towards. So with all that under our belts today, I would like to help you. So I'm looking to work with a few stage 1 through 4 businesses to figure out what stage of awareness your ideal prospect is in. Then I want to work with you to craft effective ads that turn them into a buyer. So what this campaign is going to do is a few things. One, it's going to increase your brand's awareness and make your product or service stand out over the competition, because to get people to that stage 1, we have to come up with your differentiators, which can be tough to do. Number 2, it's going to bring in more revenue and profits to your business that have up to now been a little bit hard to come by because the ads have just been like, hey, $1,000 off. Shoot, why is this not working? Well, because no one might know who your business is. Next, it's going to provide deep insight into the mind of your ideal customer so you can pinpoint what they want and where you can help them. So not everyone that is going to want your product is going to be in the same spot. So you have to meet them where they are, and you have to create and craft ads that cater to each segment of your potential audience. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, to do this, we're going to do a few things. I'm going to walk you through the process right now. So we're going to get together and take a look at your current market to determine what their stage of awareness is. Most are going to be in, like I said, stage 3 or 4, but you might get a stage 2. You might even be at a stage 1 where a lot of people know you're the best. They just need that little push. In step 2, we're going to work together to craft a custom advertising campaign to bring them to stage 1. So we're going to work on your sales copy, we're going to work on your headlines, we're going to work on your images, and all that to bring your prospect closer to buyerhood. Number 3, we're going to deploy that ad campaign out into the wild to start bringing in more clients and buyers, and we're going to, what's most important, measure its efficacy, which is a $2 word for its results. Number 4, we're going to follow up with that first campaign with a retargeting campaign that will bring prospects closer to a purchase. Now, what's a retargeting campaign? Well, have you ever gone to Amazon and you're looking at some new underwear for Christmas, and then you go over to Facebook and you mysteriously see that same underwear ad over on your sidebar? That's retargeting, which is where the ads follow you around the internet. But what's cool about that is that today's modern and informed customers need those multiple points of contact to be pushed and brought closer to buyerhood. So we're actually going to do one of those retargeting campaigns, which is a lot cheaper than you would think it would be. Finally, we're going to spend the whole month tweaking that ad campaign to make sure it's getting the results you want to see, whether it's more patients, more clients, more customers, more sales, whatever. We're going to cover it all. So if there's nothing else to take away from this, just remember, effective advertising isn't blind luck, but it's also not rocket science. It's just simply showing the right audience, the right message, at their right stage, and then following up with them after that. So if this sounds like something you'd like to do, click the link below or just go to brandonstiles.com/awareness and sign up for a free campaign blueprinting session. There's not a cost to this blueprinting session at all. And there are probably some pundits out there that says, well, no cost, what's the catch then? Well, there's no catch. It really is a totally free blueprinting session where we can figure out what you can do to turn your prospects into actual buyers. Now, how can I offer this for free? Well, I'm able to do this because I know a small portion of the businesses I work with will want to continue working together in the future as a consulting client after the blueprinting session once they see the value that this provides. So, if that's you and your business, then sweet. We can talk about how we can continue to work together to grow your company And like I said, if that's not you and you don't get any value from our session at all, then no hard feelings. I wish you the best, and you can keep your campaign blueprint as my gift to you and maybe use it to bring in more customers in the future. Honestly, it's a total win-win. You get free help crafting an ad campaign, and you get to grow your business at the same time. So again, if this is something you'd like to work with me on, just go to brandonstiles.com/awareness and sign up for a free blueprinting session. Thank you so much for watching. I know this really kind of got into the weeds there, but hopefully you gained a little bit of insight from this, and you can now create more effective ads for your business. I'm Brandon Stiles for your business. So I'm Brandon Stiles, and I will talk to you guys soon.